is lifted. This is electric gold. I'm Ryan. I'm here with Evan. I'm here with John. It's been a pretty decent week in NSC world, and we're really happy that you're listening to us this evening or this morning, depending on whenever you listen to this podcast. Guys, how are you doing?
Couldn't be better.
Fantastic, boys.
Well, could be better, but
that would be greedy.
Couldn't be better than most days.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot to be happy about and celebrate this week, which is unusual for this season. So I'm looking really forward to getting into it with you guys and talking about the week in soccer, and particularly the week with Nashville Soccer Club. But before we do all of that, we got to do what we always do: crack open a beer. Now let's tell the people what we're drinking tonight. John, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I am enjoying a beer from Half Batch Brewery in Andersonville, Tennessee. This is like my favorite time of the year beer-wise because Oktoberfest. I love Oktoberfest beers. This one is called I guess this is how you pronounce it, Stumpberfest. It's their version of Oktoberfest, and apparently I kind of looked up the history of why they call it that. They have their own Oktoberfest gathering at Half Batch, going all the way back to 2017. I guess they couldn't hold it during the traditional Oktoberfest season, so they have theirs late in October or early November, and they consider it their own Oktoberfest themed party. And this beer is the centerpiece of their celebration. It is just a perfect Oktoberfest beer. It's malty, it's toasty, it just gives you the warm feelings. It's a perfect beer. Cheers, Half Batch.
That sounds terrific and so timely for the season. I'm really starting to get into the mood for some Oktoberfest, especially after our tailgate this past Saturday.
For sure.
That was, an Oktoberfest on steroids, and I was glad to be a part of it. Evan, what are you drinking this evening?
Boys, I really love Half Batch, but I'm also very partial to the Fat Bottom Brewing Company here in Nashville. So tonight I am having Bertha, and that's Fat Bottom's Oatmeal Stout.
Ooh.
Oh, it's just so creamy and smooth. It's got that full-bodied oatmeal flavor and a little coffee aroma. It's just such a delightful beer. So that's what I'm having tonight.
And of course, we're recording this later in the evening on Sunday, day after our Cincinnati match. And I got to tell you, an oatmeal stout late in the evening, wrapping up the day. Oh, there's nothing better. That's a great selection. Well, guys, as I was trying to decide which beer to drink this evening, I was also bouncing around a different idea or thought in my head, which was, has anything good ever come from Cincinnati? We've been talking about this a lot this week, particularly in our denigration of Skyline Chili, which is absolutely awful.
God awful.
Cincinnati folks seem so damn proud of it, and it's got to be just one of the worst chilies I've ever tasted in my life. You couldn't pay me to eat it. Well, you could pay me to eat it, but it would have to be a lot. You'd have to pay me a lot.
I could see us actually being sponsored by Skyline Chili. Skyline Chili, if you're listening, we will take your money.
Yeah, we will take your money and we will change our tune. We can be bought. But until that happens, Skyline Chili sucks. And I was on the search for anything good from Cincinnati. I think I found something. It's from Rheingeist Brewery.
They're solid.
And this is Truth, their IPA. It is terrific. They mention even on their description of it that it's for those campfire times, but it's a real hoppy sort of IPA, a lot of tropical fruit sort of flavors in it, grapefruit, mango. It's a terrific, crisp sort of IPA, and I know we're kind of getting out of the season for those, but thought in honor of our foes this weekend, I'd try and find something good to say about them. So they make a pretty damn good beer up there at the Rheingeist Brewery.
That is a tremendous olive branch of kindness, considering how much I am going to rip into the city of Cincinnati later in this podcast.
You're a better man than me, Ryan.
Yeah, honestly, fuck them. Anyway, it's great to be here with you guys tonight. Cheers to you.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, boys.
So now let's move on to the week in review. Now, Nashville hosted a midweek match against fellow struggling Eastern Conference foe, the Chicago Fire, on Wednesday night. Chicago entered the match in 13th place, while Nashville sat in 14th place. Both teams were still holding on to playoff aspirations, but with just a few weeks of the season left, the opportunities for advancement are quickly shrinking. Nashville rolled with the same lineup which defeated Atlanta United last weekend, and that approach proved successful quickly. In just the 19th minute, a high-lofting cross from Hani Mukhtar found a backpedaling Sam Surridge, who headed the ball with a high arc over the Chicago keeper. The ball bounced off the right post into the goal, giving Nashville the 1-0 lead. Throughout the rest of the game, there was little action to report. Both teams played a conservative game, hesitant to give any opportunities for the opposition to take advantage of a breakaway opportunity. The game did feature Patrick Yazbek's return to the pitch after a 2-game suspension and further electrifying play from Jonathan Perez. NSC wrapped up the victory and recorded their first back-to-back win since late June. Then the party was on in Music City on Saturday night as rival Cincinnati FC visited Geodis Park. Cincinnati entered the game in second place in the East with a playoff spot already clinched. Led by MVP candidate Lucho Acosta, Cincinnati looked to avenge their 2-0 loss to Nashville earlier in the season. Meanwhile, the boys in gold were just looking for any way to keep their playoff hopes alive. The lineup featured numerous changes, including the first MLS start for Julian Gaines, starts for Jonathan Perez, Patrick Yazbek, Josh Bauer, and Taylor Washington. A raucous crowd was provided an early treat when Sam Surridge continued his hot streak by nailing a perfectly crossed ball from Taylor Washington into the back of the net. The celebration was short-lived, though, as Acosta responded in the 9th minute with a goal of his own. Before halftime, Surridge notched a brace by scoring off the cross from Hani Mukhtar's corner kick. Yes, you heard that correct. We scored off of a corner kick, and we took the 2-1 lead into halftime. However, an unfortunate foul by Brian Anunga just outside the top of the box gave Luca Oriano a free kick that he deftly placed into the upper left corner of the goal just outside of the reach of Joe Willis. Both teams had goals called back from controversial offsides calls, but ultimately the exciting and well-played game ended with a 2-2 draw, leaving NSC in 13th place, but just 1 point out of playoff contention. So guys, since last Saturday, we've had 2 wins and a draw against one of the top teams in the league. It's been a damn good week for NSC, and I'd love to get your initial thoughts. Evan, what's your instant reaction to all of this?
Oh, man, just renewed hope and excitement, not only for the chances of sneaking into the playoffs this season, but next season too. Yeah, just really thrilled that our new coach, his system, the team's buy-in is leading to chances, leading to goals. And yeah, I think we have played very well over the last 3 games, and I couldn't be happier.
I agree. What about you, John? What do you think?
Yeah, very similar. Clearly, the players are energized. They are playing exciting soccer. They've clearly bought into whatever BJ Callahan is telling them, and that's the important part. At this point, there's still a pretty small percentage that we're actually going to make the playoffs. But we, as a fan base, as a team, we really needed to see signs of life late in the season, and we're seeing it. Obviously, I hope it continues the rest of the way. But yeah, there's a little bit of optimism, and we did not have that before this week.
Yeah, there's some things to be excited about. Renewed vigor from Hani Mukhtar, one of them.
Yeah.
Electrifying play from Jonathan Perez. I hope we're able to hold on to that guy. I know we have an option for him after his loan runs out. It would be great to have him stick around because how exciting is he to watch? Yazbek's playing well, given his transgressions, maybe we can just put those in the past and hopefully he's learned from them and is moving forward. But I thought he played very well in this game against Cincinnati. And just all around the pitch, Sam Surridge just looking unbelievable. He is on quite a hot streak. But, all of this, or a lot of this, is because of us.
Yeah, clearly.
It goes without saying.
I mean, I hate to take credit for all of it because certainly Coach Callahan has inspired some passion and some better play out of our team. But let's just face it, the curse of cash was weighing down this team for the better part of the year. Let's rewind it back from the beginnings, from the USL days. God's Gonna Cut You Down was a tradition. The Johnny Cash song, they would play it before each game.
Right.
And this season, for whatever reason, they tossed that right out the window and they're playing some, I don't know, elevator rock song in place of it and to try and get the fan base warmed up. Nobody listens to it. Nobody cares. There's not one person in that stadium who's like, oh yeah, now they're playing the new song. No one's excited about that. No one can tell you the name of the band that's playing it. No one can tell you the name of that song. But what they can tell you is that they really miss the Johnny Cash song.
Yep.
And as you all know, the people who are avid listeners, earlier in the season, Johnny Cash, the ghost of Johnny Cash, visited John middle of the night and told him that we were basically cursed until they start playing the song again. Am I got that right, John?
Yeah. He said that you will never be a good soccer team again until you start playing my song.
Yeah. And so we've been advocating all season, play the fucking song, Ian Air. You need to play the song.
Yeah.
It's really important. Tradition is important. You look at like the leagues over in Europe and, you know, just the traditions that surround some of those teams that have been going on for decades and decades and hundreds of years, you know.
Yeah.
It matters. It matters to the fan bases. And, you know, we're young in our life. NSC's only been an MLS team for a little while, but it's important to build those traditions right now. We're in the tradition building phase of our lives. And, you know, the fans want to have something that they can hold on to. So they got rid of this song. We tweeted it out. It's time. It was the last game we were going to wear the Man in Black kit, the all black jerseys. The game against Cincinnati here was the last time we were going to wear those. It's the perfect time to play the song. So we tweeted it out. Hey, Nashville SC, it's time to play the song.
Yep. And a lot of people signed on. A lot of people were agreeing.
We had a lot of support. And what do you know? The beginning of halftime, the lights went dark and all of a sudden the song was playing. Now, it was quick. It wasn't the full-on performance that we normally get or we used to get before the games. But at least it was a little bit of a bone thrown the way of the fans. It was fan appreciation night. It's the least they could do. And I would love to see them bring it back like they used to do. But the fact that they at least gave a nod to that last night was a really good move. And I believe as a result, the curse is broken.
Curse is gone. I haven't talked to Johnny personally, but I have every reason to believe that the curse is gone. The curse is lifted.
Yeah. Well, that's a relief. And just congrats to you guys and to the whole team here at Electric Gold for helping to get the curse lifted.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
We did it. And so now the team has nothing but bright future ahead. They can look ahead and be very excited about where they're headed.
Sky's the limit.
I bet in 10 years we'll have won 4 MLS championships.
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing.
You're thinking crazy now. All right. Well, let's dig in a little deeper to what's been the great things that we've seen this week and the not so great things. Let's start out with a little bit of, oh, hell yeah. Okay, so oh, hell yeah is where you pick out the best, the absolute best thing you saw all week. And John, we will start with you.
There is only one place to start with the play of our last 2 games, and that is Super Sam Surridge.
Right.
He is delivering on the amount of money that we paid for him, his designated player contract. He is completely looking the role of that star striker that we have needed. Obviously, he scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, all 3 of our goals. But even beyond the goals, he's just active. He's winning the headers. He's doing the little things that strikers need to do as well. He's even hustling on defense. He is completely bought in to BJ, his aggressive style of play. And long may it continue. Oh, hell yeah, Sam Surridge. Super Sam forever.
Yeah, I thought, especially last night in the Cincinnati game, he was incredible. And here's the difference with having him in that striker spot versus Hani Mukhtar. Because we've tried Mukhtar the past couple years in that spot. And while he has had success, a lot of that success has come in the form of getting fouled and having penalty kicks and that sort of thing. But Hani is a slight fellow, though he is quick and nimble and has a ton of skills. He is often pushed off of the ball easily. We even saw it past couple of games where even if he would get the ball in space and be able to attack, if a defender got on him quickly, they were able to push him right off the ball and take over. Sam Surridge, that's a lot harder to do to him. And I was especially impressed with how he was winning aerials. I mean, he was just bodying people a la Teal Bunbury. I don't know if he's gone to the Teal Bunbury school of body slams or what, but like he was pushing people and he was angling his body so that they didn't have access to the ball. You know, he was really blocking them off from it as it came in from service from wherever. It made all the difference. We were able to keep possession. We were able to distribute the ball downfield into the attacking half because Surridge was successfully winning it over and over again.
Maestro, keep it up, Sam.
All right. How about you, Evan? What's your all hell yeah moment?
Yeah. First of all, I couldn't agree more with you guys about Super Sam. I mean, 2 or 3 games, he's just been all over the pitch. You see him all over the pitch. I mean, sometimes playing as far down as our inline playing defense. So anyway.
And he's doing well with that too.
He really is. But my all hell yeah moment tonight involves the play of our wing backs last night. Callahan made a little adjustment given, Cincinnati's attacking prowess, went to the back 3, which gave us those 2 wing backs, and he chose to start Taylor and Julian. And both of them played exceptionally well. Taylor played really good defense and was obviously very instrumental in our attack as well. Julian played tremendous defense. My God, how many steals did he make? Cincinnati is one of the best attacks in the league. Some really great players coming at Julian. How many one-on-one duels did he win? It was incredible. He made a couple of mistakes here and there. Taylor might have too. I can't remember. But let me throw you some statistics for some context about what these guys were up against last night.
Love it.
Okay. Possession. Cincinnati had 68% of the possession last night. Completed passes, 526 to our 213.
Wow.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay. Shots, Cincinnati had 13 to our 7, 4-2 in terms of shots on goal. So, and you saw it, the eye test was we were under pressure, most of the game, heavy pressure most of the game. And those guys played so well. I was so impressed. Both of them, I got to just say, oh, hell yeah.
Yes, amen.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, particularly in the second half. We were under constant pressure, but those guys were solid. Gaines, it's his first MLS start, and he had the job of matching up against Acosta for a large portion.
A lot of the time. Yep.
And he held his own against an MVP candidate. I mean, Acosta's played an incredible season. I mean, Cincinnati's a great team. Fuck them, but they got a great team.
Yeah.
And Acosta is amazing. And Gaines, young as he is and experienced as he is, hung in there and gave him a real battle over and over again. And how many times did he steal or misdirect or force Acosta to go a direction he did not want to go, make crosses that were not the best? He put all kinds of pressure on him, and I was incredibly impressed, and I don't know why there's any reason for him to be playing in Huntsville anymore. He needs to be here, and he needs to be playing. And I'd say start him the rest of the season. What do you got to lose?
It's so weird to say that because, Shaq Moore is a U.S. international, and we signed him to be the guy at right back. But Gaines, he's got the future ahead of him. He has real potential, and it would be a shame if we didn't capitalize on that. So we've got some real decisions to make there coming up this offseason.
For sure. And, we also have a decision about the other guy, Evan, that you brought up, which is Taylor Washington. I believe his contract is up as well. He's been with us since the USL days. He's never going to be solid, consistent starter. That's just not going to be him. But what a guy. If you don't love Taylor, then we don't love you. And
did you guys, this is just coming to me, so I may miss a few details, but do you guys remember this play? I think it was deep in the second half last night when Taylor just ran straight across to the other side of the field. Like he did like a missile.
He came out of nowhere.
He came out of nowhere. It was almost as if he was just like, you know what? I sense that something is not right here, and I'm taking personal responsibility for this. And he ran over to the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Took care of the play. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy, I love this guy.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
Yep.
God bless him. Well, we had a lot of great things to pick from this past week, but we also probably had a few things that weren't so great. So let's move on to the hell no moments. And Evan, we'll stick with you. What's your hell no moment of the week?
You know what? I don't have an all hell no moment. You can't make me have one. I'm choosing not to have one. And I'll tell you why. Because last night was one of the best experiences that I've ever had at an NSC match.
Oh, wow.
Today is my son's 15th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy.
And last night we went to the match, and it's also the last game that I'll be going to for this season. So we just decided we were going to blow it out. So we got there early. As you know, we swung by the tailgate. I picked up my scarf from the assembly tent, hung out with you guys for a little while, took him up to the stadium. He's a pizza fiend, so we got him his pizza. We got me my empanada. we enjoyed that. And then we were like, you know what? Let's celebrate your birthday. So we walked all the way around to the other side of the stadium to the new Ben and Jerry's. We got milkshakes that were incredible. We watched the first half, which was, fantastic. At halftime, we were both full, but we were like, you know what? We're going to blow it out for your birthday, buddy. So we went over to Daddy's Dogs and we got dogs.
Damn.
And it was just wonderful and great appreciation for the club doing the fan appreciation night and going the extra mile, the giveaways, the swag, everything. And, we were both so happy, even though we didn't get that win, we wanted that win. We were both so happy we left, and it was wonderful. So, you know what? If you're going to make me come up with an all hell no moment, it is this. It is that my baby boy is already 15, and I can't believe how fast he's growing up.
Oh, my gosh.
And, oh, my gosh. Oh, hell no. Don't grow up, buddy.
That's my favorite of the year.
That's amazing.
That's my favorite moment. Yep.
I totally respect that. I've brought my daughter to a number of games, and it's one of my favorite things about it is being able to share the experience with her, win or lose or draw. You can't beat sharing that with your kid and hanging out with them. So that's awesome. That's a great story to hear. Okay, John, what was your all hell no moment?
Oh man,
let's rain on that parade.
After that wonderful story, you're making me be the Grinch.
Hey, it wasn't your kid who had a birthday.
That's true.
That's right. You can turn this back around on me sometime when one of your birthday.
Okay, sounds good. I'll just say I wish Anibal Godoy had been in the middle of midfield instead of Brian Anunga. Okay, I went back and rewatched, because when you're at the game, especially if you're in the supporter section, it's just chaos. You can't notice little things necessarily. Anunga had a pretty good first half. He actually made the interception that started the first goal early on. But especially in the second half, I just noticed it seems like almost every pass he tried to make was, even if it completed to a teammate, it didn't set them in the best position. I see passing stats sometimes thrown around like, oh, he completed 100 passes or 95% of their passes or whatever. I don't think that necessarily means anything, because sometimes he was completing passes that were causing the receiver to be in trouble.
Yeah. He was passing into danger.
And just because you complete a pass doesn't mean that's a good thing. It's just a lack of making the right pass. And that's a feeling that I have, is that I feel that Godoy, I don't know if he was injured last night.
He came in.
He came in, didn't he? Yeah, I would have loved for him to be in that, because we played with the three in midfield, which is a little bit different, because Perez was technically up there. Him and Surridge were part of a 4-3-2, which is different from what we usually do. I can't help but feel, especially he gave away that bad pass and then committed a foul that led to the free kick.
Yes. Yeah.
Obviously, the free kick is a great free kick.
It was. They did a good job with that.
But it's little things that make the difference. And the difference between a really good team like Cincinnati and a team that is hoping to get to Cincinnati's level are those kind of little things. So last night, just hell no, Brian Anunga. I'm not going full blown, because I do think he does things well, and I really like him as a person. So I feel bad criticizing him all the time, but don't think he had the best game last night.
He had great games against Atlanta and Chicago.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Leading up to this, the past couple of weeks, I thought he's been pretty damn decent. He made a number of ill-advised decisions last night, and it cost us big. One thing that I did love about last night, the Cincinnati game, I know we kind of already done all hell yeah, but the crowd turned out to some degree.
Yes.
You know, we didn't have a full house, though. If you go by NSC's announcements, we were close to it.
Yeah.
I would never trust that. But the fans were out. The tailgate was pretty decent. And then the supporter section, as you said, was chaos.
Hopping.
It was bedlam. Yep. And man, when it's like that, that's when the games get really fun. And I'm hoarse tonight.
Yeah.
And you're hoarse, John, because we screamed our heads off. Yeah. And so we've been kind of complaining about that all season. And I'm just really happy to say that the fans, for at least one evening, were back.
I think we're responding.
Yeah.
You know, the team is playing better. It's easy to cheer for a team that's exciting.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So if that would be probably my all hell yeah. And then my all hell no would just be that, yeah, that was the last Saturday game of the season. And, and I'm not going to make it to the Wednesday night game. So, yeah, just like you, Evan, it's my last game to attend in person this season. So it's a bummer. Well, let's move on, guys. It's time for everybody's favorite part of the podcast. It's when you guys do your Nashville hot chicken takes. Okay, Evan, I'm going to let you start this time. Get first crack at it. I bet you've got a really spicy take for us tonight.
You know what? You might find it spicy. We'll see. But here's my Nashville hot chicken take tonight, boys. Next season, Super Sam Surridge is going to lead MLS in scoring. He's going to win the Golden Boot next year.
Yeah.
That is spicy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked, it's been a while, but we have mentioned the David Goss theorem, which is that foreign players who come in the middle of the season, you know, in the summer transfer window, it takes them a good year at least to get acclimated, right? Because Sam, he got off to a hot start in Leagues Cup last year, but then he cooled off significantly, and so we were hoping that we were going to see, after about a year, him settling in. And that's what we're seeing now, right? He's found his footing. He's adjusted to the league. He's comfortable. He's playing his game. He's playing great, scoring goals. Takes the pressure off of Hani. Hani can become more of a playmaker. We've added these other tools around him. Tyler Boyd, who we'll have back next season. Maybe, hopefully, Perez, Schaffelberg, Yearwood. We're putting in place all of these other guys who can help Sam score goals. And we're starting to see it pay off. And when we get all these guys back healthy next season, renewed sense of purpose and renewed drive, guys, he is going to light it up next season. And he's going to win the Golden Boot next year.
Making me break a sweat over here.
That. Woo! Spicy.
There are 4 players who have scored at least 10 goals in a season for NSC. The first was USL player Daniel Rios.
Yep.
And we have Of course, Hani Mukhtar has done it multiple times. CJ Sapong. And now in that 10-goal club, we have Sam Surridge as of last night.
Yep.
He is primed, as you say, to be scoring at a high rate for us next season. And I'm looking forward to it. You mentioned someone else in that whole conversation, though, and reminded me of what I was trying to think of earlier. Because, John, you were saying in your all hell no moment, you wish that Godoy had been playing. Where was Drew Yearwood?
I think he had a late injury, but they never reported it.
He wasn't listed in the injury report before the game.
Yeah.
He wasn't on the bench. He is not under contract for next year. And I'm just a little curious as to where was this guy, because last night he would have been the ideal player in that spot.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was on the bench against Chicago, wasn't he?
Oh, now I have to go back and look.
Did he not start?
He didn't play.
No?
He was on the bench at least Chicago or Atlanta, I think, because I remember them talking about him returning from injury, and I was hoping to see an appearance.
He clearly left his mark because we.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, you ponder on that. Where in the world is Drew Yearwood?
He was on the bench against Chicago, but he did not play.
Okay. Let's look here at the Atlanta game. What was the lineup there? Let's see. He was on the bench there. But again, I don't think he came in.
He did.
He did.
90th minute.
Wow. Yeah, that's right. He subbed in. Yeah, no, he subbed in the.
That's really weird.
He subbed in the 8th minute of extra time. He was in the 99th minute.
Oh, man.
So what's up? What's up with Drew Yearwood not playing?
That's a good question.
No. All right. I don't have the answer. John, what's your Nashville hot chicken take?
Yeah. My Nashville hot take, also in the tradition of Nashville hot chicken, has been brewing for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
For these podcasts, I always come prepared. I'm like a Boy Scout. I always think of 2 hot chicken takes just in case you call on Evan first and he steals mine. But he hasn't stolen mine lately. So this has been my backup hot take for a minute. And especially after last night's performance, it became the primary hot take. And this is that Taylor Washington should be getting Alex Mewill's minutes.
Whoa.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Let me hear this.
I believe that Taylor Washington at this point is actually a better attacking weapon than Alex Mewill. In the past, he's been usually our backup left back behind Lovitz, but he's so good in the attacking end. He gets forward. He sends in great crosses when he gets the opportunity. He sent in a great one for Perez last night that just barely missed. He got the assist on the first goal. I think it was unintentional, but he was there, man.
Mm-hmm.
He gets forward. He is in those right positions. It's kind of lessened because Mewill did have a really good game against Atlanta last week. But I feel that as far as an attacking player, I feel Taylor Washington should be getting those minutes all season long. I think when he's gotten the chance, he has been good in the attacking sense. He is not as great a defender as Dan Lovitz is at left back, even as subpar a season as Lovitz may have had, because he does take risk. He just gets in his mind that he has to hustle, and there's moments where he kind of loses his head.
I feel like he gets out of position when he's playing defense.
I'm not arguing with that, but I think in the attacking sense, like as far as a backup to like Schaufelberg and Boyd and those kind of people, Taylor Washington, he always does the job in the attacking sense to me. And I felt bad because I really like the guy on a personal level. I have to be objective here. I don't want to be the guy's personal cheerleader, but I have had the opportunity, as a lot of people in Nashville have had, to have personal interactions with him in the last few years. I love the guy. I wish he was my brother. I mean, he's just the coolest dude. But I really think he's really done a job on the field this year when he's been called upon. That's what I feel.
I can't argue with the fact that he's performed admirably this season when we've given him the opportunities, as you say, particularly on the offensive side. And we did do this a few episodes ago where we ran through all the people whose contracts are up after this season. And I've refreshed my memory. Did you guys say you would keep Taylor Washington or let him go?
Yeah, I can't imagine that I wouldn't have.
If it was me, I'd sign him to a lifetime contract.
Exactly.
You can't get any more Nashville SC than Taylor Washington.
He just bleeds blue and gold, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He gives it his all on the field. He's the greatest representative of the team off the field.
He's like everybody's brother, John. You know what he's like? He's like Nashville's brother.
He's Nashville's brother. He's Nashville's little brother.
Nashville's little brother, and he needs more minutes.
They needed one of those showstopper shirts for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nashville's little brother.
Is he on one of those banners outside the stadium? Because he needs to be if he's not.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
He's earned one. All right, guys, those were hot. Those were spicy. I'm not sure who won, but you both brought it this week, so well done. Let's move on. I've got a new segment for you guys. We're going to provide the listeners with a little bit of a history lesson. And so this segment is called What It Was. It features exclusively JontextTM. Now, Evan, you may want to explain to listeners what JontextTM is and how it came about.
Yes, I would. Thank you. Okay, so JontextTM is, of course, a play on the word context. And you and I, Ryan, we coined this term back during the World Cup. We were sitting at tailgate in Hendersonville, eating pizza, drinking beer, watching the World Cup. And I don't recall which one of us had a question, but one of us had a question for the other one. And we were like, well, I don't know. You know who'll know, don't you?
It was some sort of obscure trivia about soccer from like the 1970s or something.
Yeah, definitely. And we were just like, but you know who would know? John would know.
John knows all of that weird stuff.
John knows everything.
He's an encyclopedia of useless soccer knowledge.
Yeah. John knows everything. So if you don't have the answer readily available, you just ask John, and John will give you the John text. So anyway, that being said, John, what is the John text here on Ryan's upcoming What It Was question?
I wanted to bring up why we hate FC Cincinnati.
Okay.
Maybe a lot of newer fans don't necessarily know why we all hate FC Cincinnati, because it's not the most obvious local rival that we could have, which would probably be Atlanta. But yeah, man, we hate FC Cincinnati, and I'm going to tell you why. So Nashville SC began its life in 2013 as a fan-owned club called Nashville FC at the time. It was started by one guy named Chris Jones, who is still working for the club. He just happened to tweet, I think it was something like, starting a local club, message me if you're interested, or something like that. And people started throwing in their money, because at the time Nashville had not even an amateur team, no soccer team. We had a team called the Nashville Metros that existed for quite a while. And I used to go to the games of the Metros quite often when I was in college. And over the years, it kind of dissipated, and eventually they folded quietly, and Nashville was completely bereft of soccer. So the people that bought into Nashville FC started a tradition that a few years later, some businessmen ended up buying the rights to this club, Nashville FC, and bought a place in the USL, which is the second division of American soccer. And they changed the name of the team to Nashville SC. So what was weird was we knew that in 2018, Nashville was going to finally have a professional soccer team in the USL. But a few months before that, John Ingram, a very rich man, got involved and decided he didn't just want USL. He wanted the team to be an MLS. And MLS said, you have money. Welcome to MLS.
That's about what it takes. Yeah.
That's really all it takes. So we started life in 2018 as a USL club, knowing that we were going to play 2 seasons in the USL and then be an MLS team. So we already knew we were going to be an MLS, a Major League Soccer team, before we ever kicked a ball as a professional team. It's a very weird situation. So the team that was the pride of the USL in 2018 was a team called FC Cincinnati. They had existed for, I think, 5 or 6 years at that point, and they had a following. They were already averaging like 20, 25, 30,000 people a game coming to minor league soccer. And if you know anything about soccer in this country, that is a ridiculous number.
Yeah.
I mean, like 10,000 is a ridiculous number.
There's a lot of teams that struggle in the MLS to get that kind of number.
Exactly. The fans were already there. And basically over the years, they had already proven that fandom, and MLS almost had no choice but to give them a club because they couldn't pass up that kind of a fan base, basically. So we came along. So in 2018, Nashville and Cincinnati both knew that they were going to be MLS teams. Cincinnati was going to start the next year in 2019. So FC Cincinnati fans hated us because we, in their eyes, did not earn our place in MLS.
We were born with a silver spoon in our mouths.
That's what they thought. And they were dicks about it everywhere. The entire internet was full of FC Cincinnati fans at every opportunity calling us, bullshit, saying that we would fail, that we would never have any fans at all. And a lot of Nashville fans really took umbrage to that. And to be fair, when we were a USL team, we still only averaged about 6,000 or 7,000 people. We were playing at the Sound Stadium, and it was really fun games. But anyway, so we played them a total of 4 times in the 2018 season. And Cincinnati, knowing that they were already going to be an MLS, they only lost like 3 or 4 games all that season. They were a really good USL team. Uh-huh. But we didn't lose to them. We kept playing them. We played up in Cincinnati. We got a 1-1 tie with a goal by this dude named Tucker Hume, who is like 6'5", and he wasn't all that great. But because he was so tall, we called him Big Bird. And so if any fans saw on TV last night, there was a guy in the supporters section dressed as Big Bird. That was a Tucker Hume reference.
How obscure.
I love it.
I loved it.
That's Jontex at its finest.
That's Jontex. So, yeah, Big Bird scored a 1 game. Cincinnati came to a game. They played at Nissan Stadium. It was a 0-0 draw. And then the final game of the 2018 regular season, it was back in the Sound Stadium. It was a 3-3 tie. One of the greatest soccer games I have ever had the pleasure of being at. I mean, I remember every detail of this game. The air was electric. It was October night, and they were leading 3-2. And I think we had to get a point to guarantee a playoff spot. And a dude named Bolu Akanyode scored a goal in extra time to make it a 3-3 draw. It might have been his only NSC goal. It was beautiful. It was, oh man, I still remember it, every detail about it. So we ended up playing them in the playoffs, like the next weekend in Cincinnati, and we dominated the game, but couldn't get through.
Oh,
it ended up being a 1-1 tie, and we lost on penalty kicks. And that was the last time we played them until we were in MLS. And ever since in MLS, the Cincinnati really struggling is very putting it lightly. I think the first 3 or 4 years they were in MLS, they finished last place every time.
How did NSC do during those years, by the way?
We made the playoffs.
Every year.
Every single year until this year. Well, don't say the quiet part.
You know what team never beat us this entire year, even though we've been terrible?
FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right.
They haven't beat us once, baby. They've beat us twice over the years. Both times last year, actually, I think. But the other dickishness that came about is when we came into MLS, a lot of Cincinnati fans were saying that we wouldn't draw 10,000 people to MLS games in Nashville, that we would fold, that we would be moved by the end of the year, like all kinds of bullshit. And I was like, Nashville's a big league town. We're going to be fine.
Yeah.
And obviously we have proved to be fine.
Yeah. How you like them apples, Cincinnati?
Yeah. So fuck you, Cincy. Is the point of my long rambling Jontex. Fuck you, Cincy. I don't care if you're better than us this season. You haven't proven it on the field. We beat you there. We should have beaten you last night. I don't know. It was an even game. I'll call it. It was a tie. But yeah, fuck you. We're always better than you. We're a better town than you.
Hot chicken's better than Skyline Chili.
Hot chicken rules. Skyline Chili drools. Fuck you, bitches.
Oh. Well, that was what it was. Thanks, John, for that history lesson. All right, now let's move on to a little bit of weekend preview. Next Saturday, the boys in gold hit the road as they travel north to face the New England Revolution. The Revs are 14th in the Eastern Conference with little hope of making a playoff push. They have a record of 8 wins, 17 losses, and 4 draws, and a goal differential of negative 28, next to worst in the MLS. In their last 4 matches, New England has tied against St. Louis, lost to Orlando, tied with Montreal, and lost to Charlotte. They've notoriously given up a lot of goals this season, but they aren't incapable of scoring either, like when they crushed Montreal 5-0 back in late August. Nashville, meanwhile, needs to capitalize on the opportunity playing a weaker opponent. They sit just 1 point behind the final playoff spot, but so do 3 other teams. So the field is crowded to get into the Eastern Conference postseason. The boys in gold will hope their recent momentum continues and that they can continue to gain ground in the standings. It's getting tight, guys. We've only got, 5 games left, I think? Something like that? 4 games left? Oh, my gosh. What's going to happen? What's going to happen in New England first? Let's get those predictions. And, John, we'll start with you.
Yeah. We're going to be repeating this for each of those 4 games, but if we're going to be in the playoffs, we pretty much got to win.
Yeah.
And we especially have to win against a team that's struggling like New England. Me personally, I hate New England. I hate the New England Revolution. I hate their owner, Robert Kraft. I hate the Patriots.
Yeah. The Red Sox.
Fuck Boston.
Yeah, all of them.
Fuck Boston. I hate the Celtics more than anything. Come at me, bro.
You're telling me.
I fucking hate you. So, yeah, I think we're going to win. So we have one player on our roster who is kind of a Revolution legend, and his name is Teal Bunbury. And I feel that Teal is going to do amazing things and get a hat trick.
Whoa.
3-0 Nashville.
Whoa. A Bunbury hat trick. Evan, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3-0 with a hat trick, but I think it's going to be Super Sam. I think he was so close to getting it last night. He's just playing out of his mind right now. We've got crazy momentum. We're going to go up there, and he's going to get his first hat trick for us. So we're going to win that game 3-0 and make this playoff race even that much more exciting.
I like it. I will accept either of those results. Both of those sound terrific. So of our last 4 games, guys, we've got New England, who is currently last in the Eastern Conference. And then we play D.C. at home. That's our last home game. D.C. sits behind us in the standings. They're one of those teams that's tied with sitting 1 to 2 points out of the playoff spot. And D.C. is just behind us because of goal differential. So we're basically even with them, but totally a winnable game, right?
Yeah.
After we play DC, we have to go play New York City. They are a decent team. They're in 7th spot in the East right now, but again, they're not world beaters. Their record is 11-11-8, so they're a very average team. They're good at home. We have to play them at home, at their home. And so, that's something we're going to have to deal with, but that's going to probably be our toughest game of the last 4.
A note to that game could get moved. They play at the Yankees Stadium, and if the Yankees are still playing the playoffs, there's always a chance that could get moved to the Mets Stadium.
What it says actually on the schedule,
or Red Bull.
It says Red Bull Arena.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
They just went ahead and assumed the Yankees were in the playoffs then.
Just like a bunch of New Yorkers to make that assumption.
Yeah.
All right. And then our final game is against lowly Chicago, who we just beat. And of course, they are sitting next to last in the East. So 3 out of the last 4 games are against teams that are as bad or worse than us. And then, like I said, then we have New York City, who is a totally beatable team as well. We can do this. We can sneak our way into the playoffs. We have to leapfrog Atlanta. We've got to leapfrog Montreal. and we got to get over either Philadelphia and or Toronto. I mean, we could possibly get into 8th place even and host the play-in game. But I guess what I'm just saying is that this is not an unrealistic situation. Of the teams that are vying for one of those last spots, we probably have the most favorable schedule left. So why not us?
Why not us?
Guys, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this stretch run from Nashville. I know you guys are as well. Thanks for joining me this evening, and thank you to all of you who are listening. We have really appreciated all the support this season. Now, John, before we get going, why don't you tell everybody how they can reach out and get in touch with us?
Yeah. Electric Gold NSC on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. And we also have a Facebook page. Any of these places, you can reach out to us, talk to us anytime you want. We are delightful men, and we will chat you up. We'll talk. I will personally give you all the John text you want.
Yeah, for free.
It's really the only thing that I can do. It's the only thing to do well. It's the only thing I know is dumb soccer shit.
Yeah, and I'll play pickleball with you. That's the only thing I know how to do.
Yeah,
I'll play pickleball with you.
Well, you guys both got me beat, but that sounds delightful. If I was a fan, I'd reach out and talk to you. Also, let's not forget, we've got an incredible Spotify playlist that catalogs all of the songs and pop culture references that we've made all year long. We're just going to keep that sucker going for as long as we're going. And
it's a killer playlist. And are there any Cincinnati bands featured on there?
There is.
I'm kidding. There are no Cincinnati bands.
There you go. Anyway, so don't forget to check out that Spotify playlist. We've even got another playlist of our own original music as well. Do we not?
Yeah, we do. We have our own original music is all up on Spotify now.
Yeah.
It is absurd, really. We have the entire Electric Golden musical up. We have Taylor's versions of 2 of our Empanada songs.
Yeah.
And then just for Cincinnati, we made a song called Skyline Chili Sucks.
It's probably my favorite.
Yeah. So we've got all kinds of good stuff to listen to.
Terrific. Well, so check all that out. Thank you, John. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys, Evan and John, for joining tonight. It's been such a fun season, and I'm looking forward to just a little bit more. So until next time, keep tuning in, keep watching this team, keep supporting them, keep screaming your guts out. Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
Come on, you boys and gold.
Talking dreams on Friday nights, electric vibes and stories told. Come on, you boys and gold. Waves of laughter in the air, podcast pals without a care. Sharing glorious thoughts out loud. Come on, you boys and gold.